Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jag off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the burg with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Yeah. Whoa. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 760 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. A brand new week.
Oh, yeah, baby.
The possibilities are endless, Mike.
They are.
A brand new freaking week. Did you have a nice Father's Day, man?
Yeah. Like every time I try to do something, the kid would come in. I'm like, come on, dude. I just want to sit down and play video games for an hour. But, it was all cool, though. It was fun. He wasn't being bad. It was just, he wanted all the attention, forced it upon me. I think, he knew it was Father's Day. And he's like, oh, yeah, Dad just wants to hang out with me. Nah, yeah. Bro. Dad wants to be left alone. But it was good. It was fun. I had a good time. I had a good night the night before, staying out late. I was up for 24 hours the night before. Ugh. And just stayed outside drinking and playing cards with the neighbors.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time. But then, the next day, Father's Day, I was so tired, where I, just wanted to be left alone. But little man made it fun.
Good morning to Jen on the board. Always great to see Jen. Jen here bright and early today.
Yes.
Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody had a safe weekend. We got some things to talk about today, Mike. A lot of sports, of course, here in Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Steelers were a little over a month away from camp. It won't be long now, but a lot of things, nonetheless, we got to talk about in the meantime. Yeah. So I'm into comedy. You into comedy, Mike? Like stand-up comedians? Uh-huh. I just seen this morning that up at the Pittsburgh Improv tomorrow and Wednesday, Steve-O from Jackass.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about Steve-O, he's not a really funny person. But he'll surprise you with some stupid shit that he'll do through the show. I've seen his stand up before.
Yeah.
And he actually caught his hair. What was it? Something was on fire and he did a backflip.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but I think that his comedy shows can be fun just because he's wild. He's crazy. And
you don't know what he's going to do.
You never know what Steve-O is going to do. I'm not going to make it up, but up at the Improv tomorrow and Wednesday, Steve-O doing a stand-up. So that could be fun if you're up in the city and looking for things to do. Get over to the Improv and check out Steve-O. Three Gooners was good the other night, Mike. I watched the show. Hold on, let me see. Caleb says, guys, there's a YouTube channel who's looking for a Pittsburgh talk show to bring on. Y'all went in, tried to reach out on via Discord. Get a hold of Mike right after the show. But I watched the Three Gooners the other night. Good stuff, man. I truly enjoy the guys. Sometimes I give Finch a little bit of advice. And sometimes he takes it, sometimes he doesn't. But I really think, Mike, I really think that show excels whenever it turns into a shit show.
I know what you mean when it's just when they just go off.
It's funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I'm looking for something funny to watch, and I come across that, whenever they're hitting that shit show moment on their show, I'm laughing. I'm really laughing. And come on, it's tough to find something truly thoroughly makes you laugh, and I do every single time I watch them guys. But I don't know. Again, I don't want to get into it because it's their show, and they'll do what they want and they'll adjust how they feel. But there's definitely sometimes I think to myself, you should be doing more of this.
Just let it go off the rails.
Just let it go off the rails.
And go where it takes you.
I think Finch is under the impression that we want it to be a sports show, but that's not the case. I would almost rather it not be a sports show just to give more of a variety here on our network. And it's like, he'll go, like, they'll have something really funny going on. Like Tim will mention his 10-inch hog or something like this. And I'm cracking up because who calls their wiener a hog for one? So I'm laughing. But then, Finch will be like, all right, well, let's go name the top 10 sports uniform, which is cool, which I dig. But I just think, it's almost like he thinks that we want him to, do sports when that's not the case.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do sports. We do sports. But it's good. I truly enjoy watching the guys. They have their three personalities that I enjoy. And again, good stuff, guys. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. And if you have checked it out and maybe you didn't get into it, give it another try. Because honestly, Mike, I tell you what, once they get going, it's hard to stop laughing.
Yeah, like once they, oh god, because like you said, once they're all funny, and once they get going, they know
in their
how
own
to play.
way.
Yeah, they know how to play with each other, and it's hysterical. They crack me up.
Absolutely, and that they're talented. And again, it's a good show. But I give it time to grow. We didn't build this world world in one day, and the guys will be just fine. But I truly do. I laugh. They're three interesting personalities, and they're not the same. And got his own thing, and even little Ryan. I can't call him Ryan. I was the funny thing about this, Mike, I was trying to put up a post for them the other week to advertise for their show.
Yeah.
He needs another name. He can't be Ryan because here's the thing: if somebody's reading it, they're going to think it's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be confused.
Right. And I don't want people to be confused. So we're gonna have to think of another name for him, whether he likes it or not.
That's what we'll call him.
Yeah. And I never met that guy. I at least I know everybody else. But we're going to give the
Yeah.
guy that I never met. We're going to give him a new name.
Exactly. That's how it goes.
Let's call him Toby. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yes, this is episode 760 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. Glad to see everybody back. I'm glad to see everybody had a safe weekend. They're back with us. We got a lot of sports to talk today. Mike, a lot of sports over the weekend. I'm going to start with this NBA and the NHL because this is what's going on right now. The Pacers and the Thunder, that series tied 2 games apiece. I don't know if Caleb is still with us on the board, but the series is 2-2. Today they are going at it at Game 5 at Oklahoma City, Mike, to try to take a 3-2 lead in the series. One of these two teams will be ahead in the series by the end of tonight, but at the moment it is the Pacers 2 and the Thunder 2 in the NBA.
Let's go Pacers. I want them to win.
NHL, there already is a 3-2 lead. Florida, Mike, Florida is up 3-2 over Edmonton. How many games did last year's series go to? Do you remember?
6 or 7, I think. I think it went rather far in last year.
Yeah, so here they are again, 3-2. Florida's up in this series. Mike, I'm kind of pulling for Edmonton. I want to see a Canadian team do it. It's just weird that here we are, 32 years that the Canadian hockey team has not won the NHL Stanley Cup, which would be weird. That would be like our basketball guys.
Yeah,
not winning the world championship for 32 years. It's our sport. It's their sport. There's no reason. I mean, come on. I mean, that's just bad. 3.5 decades.
Yeah. Well, I want Florida to win one because the Edmonton fans are being little babies. Like any ticky-tacky call that goes Florida's way, it's a conspiracy against them. Edmonton will watch their guys blatant penalties. Like, oh, you can't call that in the playoffs. And they all want to compare McDavid to Crosby. Oh, Crosby was down 3-2, and he came back and won. Can McDavid do it? Yeah, it's not going to ring the same. The Penguins knocked off a dynasty, and Crosby and Malkin were 20, 21 years old when they pulled this off. McDavid's been in the league forever at this point. So the constant comparison between McDavid and Crosby, the Penguins and Edmonton, and the way Edmonton fans are crying, I want Florida to win. I want them to just rip their hearts out tonight.
I'm going to be honest
with
you.
Whenever they play next tomorrow.
I think that Florida has basically become a dynasty. Like they're, it's
Yeah.
almost, we knocked these Red Wings off, but Edmonton, it would be a stretch to say that these guys aren't a dynasty right now. They're in the middle. This is their third year in a row to the Stanley Cup. They won it last year, going for their second. I think it would be a big accomplishment for Edmonton to win this for a few reasons. For one, again, Mike, a Canadian team hasn't won since 1993. So you get that monkey off your back, and then again, this team has been to 3 straight Stanley Cups. So the only reason I'm not talking shit on McDavid is because at some point he's liable to be on a team that could go ahead and win like 5 Stanley Cups before it's all said and done if he plays to be an older man like the rest of these guys do. So I think that he's ultimately going to get his, Mike, and that's why I don't talk too much trash on him, because it almost seems like it would be weird if he didn't win championships, right?
It would be weird, but I saw this stat a while ago, and it was something like no one has won a Stanley Cup in the NHL for a player in the salary cap era for any player who has like an average value of $10 million or more, and that's McDavid and Draisaitl. They both got their money, and now that those two have to do more or less do all the work there instead of doing what Crosby and Malkin did, take less so you can get more better players on the team. So it's like, I'm just. McDavid's a great player. I just don't think he's a championship player.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna have to. I think he has like 1 goal in the Cup Finals.
Well, that will be what it will be.
We'll see what happens. Great player.
Yeah, I'll be like, what my thing is this: it's hockey. It's not Penguins season. The Penguins ain't in it, so I tend to pay attention to other things that do have my Pittsburgh teams in it, like this, Mike. The new women's soccer team, the Pittsburgh Riveters here in Pittsburgh, they not only won their game on this weekend, Mike, but they won 7-0. They won by a touchdown. They played that Erie Sports Center again, Mike. This time 7-0. I mean, I'm not a real big soccer guy, but I know this is a lot of goals in a soccer game.
Yeah, that's insane. 7-0 for soccer.
How do you even do that? What's the other team doing? I mean, that's
right. You have to be a completely dominant team where the other team just has to suck that bad.
So that is our gals,
awesome.
The soccer football team. They win like 7-0. They play Buffalo this coming Saturday at 6:00. The guys, however, they fall 1-0 to Indy 11. And the guys, they will be back at it next week against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. That game is also on Saturday, Mike. So soccer, a 7-0 win, a 1-0 loss. It is what it is, right?
It is what it is. And but like Phil Steele said, man, the U.S. men's national team got a win.
All right, we'll get into that just in a second here. They weren't doing too well, were they? They lost a couple of games early that they were kind of embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. And there's been a lot of drama surrounding this team. A lot of the older players who won nothing as well are shitting on this team. And, they rebounded. They beat Trinidad and Tobago. So, like if we don't beat them, that's bad. But yeah, leading up to this.
Who did they beat? Trinidad and who?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago?
Yeah.
That's a
little island nation down in the Caribbean.
Come on, if you don't beat Tobago, I mean,
they've beaten us before, which is funny.
The funny thing is, I'd never even heard of Tobago, and they beat us before.
Tobago.
Yeah, them too.
Yeah, we won 5-0. We got that going for us.
Yeah, you got to beat Tobago, not come on.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, guys. Also, Mike, your team in the UFL, they pulled off and they win the championship. The DC Defenders 58, Michigan 34. Spring football is over, guys, which only means one thing. That means there's just a little over a month till the guys go to camp up in Latrobe. Mike, the UFL season is over. It did its job. It flew right by.
Mm-hmm.
It gave us football to get us from point A to point B. Here we are, Mike. We're almost, again, only a month away. UFL, your team, DC Defenders. I think this is the first time that somebody besides the Birmingham Stallions won, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and that was nice to see. Beer Snake rallied for the win. It was looking touch and go there throughout the season. We lost to Birmingham earlier in the year. It's like, oh god, they're gonna run through, but we rallied and came back, baby. It was the Battlehawks that were giving us some troubles too, but we got it, boys. I'm happy. So they've been my team since it formed. I'm happy they pulled it out.
Well, so that's cool. They won. It's over with, Mike. They are the champions, DC Defenders in the UFL, the champions, DC Defenders. So there you go.
Yeah.
Also, Mike, Caleb is still on the board. His Indiana Fever got a little present back over the weekend. Caitlin Clark comes in and she drops Mike 32 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds in the return game against the Liberty. Mike, the Liberty was undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
The Fever beat them 102-88 with Caitlin Clark back in the lineup. The Liberty fall to 9-1. The Fever are 5-5. Without, I think, Ionescu for the Liberty scored 34 points. Other than that, nobody scored as much as Caitlin Clark. She's a beast. Glad to see her back in the lineup, Mike. I cannot wait to see what they do moving forward. Again, the Gals, Indiana Fever, with a big win over the undefeated Liberty. You got to like that win, Mike, especially over an undefeated team. And Caitlin coming back and putting up 32 points.
Dude, and at one point, it was early in the game. They were down, I think, like 6 points. She hits a logo 3. New York goes down, scores. Next possession, another logo 3 to put them down 3. They get a stop. Next possession, another logo 3 to tie it up. It was insane. After the third one, Stewie was guarding her, and they were both just laughing about how insane it was.
They got
They're
Stewie.
like, yeah, the New York coaches were just laughing and clapping because that's all you can do at that point. You can't stop that shot. When she's on her game, you might as well just don't even try and guard her out past the 3-point line because it's going to go in. It was nuts. And from that point on, they just rolled the rest of the way.
They're looking good. The Fever, they'll be back at it tomorrow night. They'll be hosting the Sun. That game is at 7:00 p.m. tomorrow. So we'll see what Caitlin Clark can do. Get these guys back on track again. They're 5-5. They are going to have a pretty good season. Again, you get your star back. That's a big game changer. They'll be back at it tomorrow at 7. Mike, one of the big games over the weekend that I really enjoyed was our Pittsburgh Passion, our football team here. They finished up their regular season against the Cincinnati Cougars. Again, I just love this name for a football team. Like, it's almost as good as the Wings in WNBA. Again, any of these teams that have these women type names, I always dig, Mike. So the game against the Cincinnati Cougars, Cincinnati come in with a 5-0 record. The most they let up in a single game this year was 18 points. They are actually from the division right below us, so it was outside of our division of play. But they come to town. They have this running back. She averaged 11 yards per carry coming into the game. She started out really good in the game against the Passion, and she ripped off a couple long runs to start the game off, and then also she continued to run very well. It was back and forth at first. We scored, they scored, we scored, they scored. Mike, again, this team let up 18 points in their conference all year long. The Pittsburgh Passion beat them 59-26, more than doubling the score of the Cincinnati Cougars. Mike, again, the most points that Cincinnati defense let up all year was 18 in a game. We score 59 to give us a 5-1 record heading into the playoffs. The Gals will be off next week, and they'll host a team the following week at home at Slippery Rock in the first round of the playoffs. I feel really good about this team, Mike. Again, this is one of the better teams from the other conference.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to dominate them the way that we do. And the way that we dominate teams, it's just so it's great to watch because it's this long, drawn-out process of a football game. They're not. It's great to watch because the defense is so good. They might cause a turnover, and then we'll score, and then we get the ball at our own 5. Then we'll drive the whole way down the field and score. This team can score from anywhere on the field. They are truly unbelievable. Mike, the offense, the running game, the passing game, the women up front, the blockers, the defense, and then Harris back at safety. Mike, she leads the league with interceptions. They're just nasty. Again, there's not one person. Well, there is.
Yeah,
but when you're looking at the team, it's more of a team effort.
Good. Yeah.
So when you look at their one superstar, it doesn't really seem like she's the only player on the team. The whole team really good. If you haven't, if you haven't seen the Passion play, check them out. They do have all their games up on YouTube. You can always go back and watch. But again, 2 weeks, Mike, from Saturday will be their first playoff game at home. We don't know who they'll be playing yet. I caught rumors that it might be Nebraska, might be somebody else. But again, the Pittsburgh Passion, they finished their season 5-1. And with coming off of that 22-19 loss last week to DC, this was the way that you want your team to respond.
Exactly. Like I said last week, you kind of need that one, that loss, that tough one, and then you come out in the next week and you just take it out on that next opponent, and they did. Like you said, gave up 18 points was their worst. Cincinnati ever gave up, and for us to come out there and dominate them, and then the way just like you said, that team, they can beat you down methodically, or they can just quick plays and score. You don't know, what team you're going to get, or what from drive to drive, the defense can be, they're going to be on their heels because you don't know what they're going to do. Hey, do we want to kill clock here, or do we just want to get some points and watch our defense play to beat down your offense some more?
And I don't want to say this to be demeaning in any way, but they play like men. This football team, you know what I mean? A lot of times you turn in and you expect a certain thing when you're watching, a football game. These women, they are just that good. You're watching a game and you're thinking you forget that you're watching women sometime. And not that there's anything wrong with women. I'm just saying you forget because they're that good again. Check out the passion, guys. They'll be back at it here in 2 weeks in the playoffs. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Maybe Mike will take a trip up there. I don't know. We'll see what's going on, but it would be a lot of fun, I think, to get up there and maybe take a megaphone and cause some problems for the other team. But we'll see. Mike, we have a couple weeks on that. Let's get caught up on the board though, because I'm getting a little behind on the board, and I don't want that to happen. Let's start right here. I think we were talking about the Indiana Pacers and that series. Caleb says he's so excited. And then he follows that up by saying, I can believe I convinced a dude from Pittsburgh to come to his first ever NBA playoff game. Well, that's cool. The thing is, people from Pittsburgh don't dislike the NBA. We just don't have it.
We just don't want to go to Cleveland to watch basketball.
Yeah, exactly. I've been there, and it's no walk in the park. Phil, what's up, Phil to Steel? Phil to Steel says, good morning, fellas. Gold Cup Game 1, USA, Trinidad, and Tobago's nothing. Go Yanks. Caleb says, I want to see the two dumb Yinzers try to locate every country in the world. I didn't even know Tobago was a country till about 7 minutes ago. So yeah, I guess that could be interesting. Phil still says Gold Cup is now a serious soccer tournament. Got to beat rival Mexico in this one. It's like a Ravens-Steeler rivalry. Win this cup and you own the
CONCACAF.
The CONCACAF League. Yeah, I mean, is that what they're at? They play Mexico? Is that what's?
Yeah, in the Gold Cup, there's a group round stage and then knockout stage. So I forget who we got next.
Oh, go USA again. You beat Tobago, so we're on good track. Obviously, even Trinidad, which is a country that I heard of, I still wouldn't assume that they were good. But again, I don't know much about it, Mike. Go USA. Let's see. Caleb says, let's go Fever. I'm definitely on that train for sure. Finch has controversy for Clark. What's up, Finch? On the board, brother? He says, I guess there were a lot of missed foul calls. You think? They have a whole package put together where you can sit there and watch her get basically body checked all over the basketball court. It's unbelievable. It truly is, because you don't see anybody else in the league get hit the way she gets hit. And it's on random plays. A lot of time, you get beat up on a foul, or you got, go into the hoop. I seen her get hit in the midcourt when she's bringing the ball across the court. I seen her take these body shots. I don't know what the WNBA gains from this. I see the women. I can see. You could see the jealousy when these games are on TV. What's going on with the people around her and Caitlin Clark, and you could just tell the people are, they're looking at her, swearing, and. But I don't know what the WNBA gets by allowing this to continue. I've seen her get hip checked, body checked, tackled. And again, she's the top dog, and she looks a little different than everybody else some of the time. So again, I get it. These are things that are not abnormal in sports. But again, I just don't know how the WNBA, the officials, the league, they don't want to touch it. I don't know. I don't think that that's good for basketball. But again, I do think that her name being mentioned every day is good for the WNBA, Mike, because again, she is the name. And in that other one, if she could start getting more than 4 points in a big game, you could start talking about this big rivalry between Clark and Reese. But Mike, she
well, she got a triple double the other night.
You know what's funny about her? Sometimes she'll get 4 points and 2 this and 5 rebounds, and then another night she'll get a triple double.
Yeah,
she's so oddly
so inconsistent.
Yeah.
Her shooting form is terrible. But like you said, she can never get it down. She could be that, you got Caitlin Clark as the the point guard, then you got Angel Reese the big, then market around Aja Wilson as well, and you got Paige, and then you got Juju Watkins coming up in the next year or two. So they have good players. Market them.
And another thing is maybe these people are trying to knock her off her game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I could recall doing that. You get somebody that's really good, and
you fuck with them. Yeah,
fuck with them a little bit, maybe throw them off. It doesn't working with her, but maybe that's what's going on. But Finch, you're not absolutely. This is certainly something that's going on. I seen something about it the other day, and again, I watched this package. It was about a 14-minute video, and it was her basically getting hockey checked all around the basketball court. I've never seen anything like it, but yeah, you're not wrong. Fearless Steel says football and soccer are my two sports, fellas. And when it comes to soccer, I'm all Sam's Army all the way. Fearless Steel also says, hey, Fincher, haven't seen basketball since Air Jordan retired, but Clark's play is catching my attention. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at as well. The NBA bores the shit out of me. It doesn't really feel competitive. It feels like it's a league where you have to be 19 feet tall to be in it. So it's basically a bunch of tall guys who aren't playing defense. And I don't know. The NBA truly bores me anymore. I understand a lot of people like it, but it lacks something. I don't know what it lacks. It's not exciting anymore. Right? And the thing is, I used to love NBA when I was in high school and my early adulthood. I loved it. It just feels like a show now. It's not. Again, watch college basketball and then go watch the NBA. One feels competitive, the other one just doesn't. The NBA feels kind of lazy. It's a bunch of tall guys that are really good. Maybe that's what it is, Mike. They just make it look a lot easier than it really is, and that's why they don't look like they're trying as hard, because it's easy for them. They're really tall and really big, and it doesn't excite me.
Me either. I was never a big basketball fan.
Caleb says Caitlin Clark is cool, but when people call her the fastest WNBA 100 threes in a season, they're wrong. I mean, she has a plethora of accomplishments. I don't want to split hairs on if she's the fastest one here or whatever, but what she did in college, she scored more than anybody, including Pistol Pete Maravich for the men. So what she's done has been nothing short of amazing. I do support and I do like Caitlin Clark. And it's not just because she's a white lady. She's kicking ass at women's basketball, and it's bringing a lot of attention to the sport. And again, sometimes that happens. If it is a white lady that's drawing all this attention to the WNBA, it makes it more interesting. Or if, let's just say, a black guy comes along in hockey and he's leading in scoring, I think that's going to draw more attention from people that generally don't watch hockey. They're going to tune in, and I think that's what's going on. And I think, Mike, they should be able to use it to save the WNBA if they use her and other players right. Mm-hmm. But she's the hot thing right now, and there's not many things you could take away and say, well, she's pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, passing, even defense, shooting, obviously shooting, but her passing is like unreal. Now, if her teammates can finish more consistently.
Yeah. Well, they got a nice little team, so we'll see what they can do now that she's back. Again, a big win over the undefeated Liberty with her back in the lineup over the weekend, so that was good for them. WNBA player. All right, hey, what's up, RB? Always great seeing RB on the board. RB says, good afternoon, guys. Heard from people, one, Thornhill is a great fit here. Played both safety spots and some inside linebacker and nickelback. We made a lot of small pickups, Mike, early on.
Yeah,
that people were forgetting about, like
the
that one's Thornhill.
Thornhill, because I was reading about him last week during mini camps and OTA. They said he looks better than he did last year, just running around movement wise. He looks like he had maybe been nicked up a little last year with the Browns, limited his mobility, and he's amped up to be a Steeler. I follow him on some social media, and he is just loving being a Pittsburgh Steeler. And he saw the way he was moving in mini camp. So I can't wait to see him in training camp and to see how he's doing once we get out there in preseason games. Because if he gets back into form and he's healthy, that's a nice 1, 2, 3 safety rotation out there.
For sure. And again, Mike, even with the Kenneth Gainwell and the guys they picked up early on.
Like, we're not even talking about some of the guys on the defensive line, like Ukulele or Malik Harrison at middle backer. These have flown under the radar since they were signed. People talked about them for a day or two. Then they're the forgotten depth pieces that will probably play huge dividends throughout the season.
All right, let me finish up the Buccos here, Mike, and then we will get into Steeler talk. That way we could talk about the Steelers for the duration. Pittsburgh Pirates, Steelers. Mike, every single game against the Cubs was either 2-1 or 3-2.
Yeah.
The Pirates lose the series 3-1. They had ample opportunity last night, Mike. David Bednar blows it in the 10th to give the Cubs the win. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Renegade, they call him. Mike, he blows it again. Pirates, they fall to 29-44 overall. Friday, they won 2-1. That was in Skeens' only start. After that, Mike, Saturday, they lost 2-1. And then on Sunday, they lost 3-2. Skeens only has given up 3 earned runs in the last 6 starts. And he has a 1.27 ERA on the road, which is lowest in history with a minimum of 18 starts.
He's up there with people pictured in black and white photos.
He really
Civil
is.
War. It's just insane.
I can't wait to see him win World Series in New York. It's going to be something.
It's going to be great.
But there you go.
They're in LA, one of the two.
Pirates, they will be off today, and they're back at it tomorrow on their final road series of this road stand, Mike. They'll be playing Detroit Tigers tomorrow at 6:40, game 1 of 3.
About the Pirates pitching, I saw like a pretty prominent Bucko Twitter account was, you can say Mitch Keller, he hasn't given up many runs, but when he does, he gives them up early and the team has to play from behind. How about not give them up early? Well, how about the guy gives up 2 runs a game, 3 runs a game? The Buccos offense should be able to pick up. Like, this team is so bad, people are making delusional takes to defend the offense.
Yeah, the offense is just not it. No two ways
the manager again says, we got to find ways to generate runs. You think?
I
they're
know.
Skipper? I can do your job.
I love when they come up with these ingenious. Mike Tomlin has a lot of these ingenious remarks too.
It just cracks me.
You hear them year after year after year, but you never see the teams get better. Just
this right here is just the Bucko baseball, man. It's just a comical thing, and the pitching
Steelers
staff
football,
has been good.
Steelers football and Penguins hockey has been kind of comical both as well, Mike.
Yeah, at least they try to spend money to win and get better.
They spend money and they don't win.
I'd rather have that.
I don't know. I'd rather have my money. But at the end of the day, let's see. RB also says soccer is un-American. I know. I just never could really get into this sport. I just never could. We didn't have it in our school. It was just never a thing for me. But apparently we're beating who, Mike? Who's the team that we beat?
We beat Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago. RB says NBA is a joke. They will never make money. They sabotage cash cow for the sake of having a woke echo chamber. Clark fans disturb that. You know what? They haven't been successful in 30 years, so I don't know where you're wrong. Phil the Steel says Mike the Steel, USA versus Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that's who we play next. Okay, I gotta check out the brackets. I actually forgot the Gold Cup was going on because I knew there was the controversy about Christian Pulisic and some of the other guys saying stuff and not showing up to different tournaments. So I gotta get caught back up because we got to get ready for the World Cup.
Let's see. RB says these other players are all race baiting, woke idiots who never will be marketable. It's not a race thing. It's a shut the fuck up and play your thing. No one cares about your social justice.
It's the woke in the room with you.
Well, you know what? If they wouldn't worry about stupid shit and worry about their company.
God.
Well, yeah, that's anything. I always say keep politics out of sports. It's not successful because they do this. Nobody wants to go to a pro sports game to hear about injustices, and because everyone doesn't have your same opinion. They shouldn't have to be forced to sit there and listen. If they want to listen to opinions on politics, they can go listen to opinions on politics. If I go to watch a sport, I want to watch my favorite athlete play the game that I paid to see him play.
Yeah, but politics is all pervasive throughout society. It affects every aspect of
You
life.
know what I'm, Mike. I mean, you know what I'm
I'm just
saying.
saying. I'm just
You know
saying.
what I'm saying.
I'm
I
just
think I
saying.
know that you're playing devil's advocate, but I think I hope that you understand what I'm saying.
I
That's
understand what you're saying,
okay.
and you know what I'm saying too. So we're good.
I mean, you're splitting an atom, and again, we could send us down 50 different roads if we wanted to. But you know what I'm talking about. You don't want to go. I don't want to go to sports and watch politics. It's just, you know. Well, next time they're doing a chamber commerce, have them throw around a baseball a little bit. Maybe I'll get a little bit more interested in sport. Oh, they're not going to do that. Why? Because it's politics. So do your thing. They'll do our thing, and we'll live life. Finchy says Clark gets beat up and keeps scoring and winning. She's the blood of a true Yinzer. Can she suit up for the Steelers? You know what? She did wear them awesome colors in
Yeah.
college. So
Can she play slot corner?
yeah. Ryan, I've proved she isn't the fastest. I never said she was because I didn't know this. I believe you. If that means anything. It's taken me 2 years. He says, yeah. I don't know what she has accomplished and what she has. I just know she's really good, and I watch the sport because of her. Joe, what's up, Yinzer Joe? He says, hello, dumb Yinzers and Pittsburgh family. Always great seeing Yinzer Joe on the board. Today is no different. Hope everybody had a great Father's Day. Great Father's Day weekend. Caleb says, I disagree. Jackie Robinson was a great example of how sports can beat politics. But do you want it to be consistent in your sports? Do you want to deal with this all the time? No, I just want to watch a game. Why make me think about this shit? It's not the platform. Start a fucking show. Do a podcast. People will listen to you. You can't force people to listen to your bullshit. And the thing is, even if it's not bullshit, half the people's going to think it is. So you're alienating part of your audience. Again, that's not good for any company, I wouldn't think. Caleb said, isn't the point of a sports show is to debate? Yeah, of course. Time to time we do. Also, RB says Jackie Robinson just played and was great. He didn't complain about shit. I don't know, Mike. What do you think? I mean, this is obviously coming up a lot on the board today, and maybe that's the way that.
No, I have no problem with it. That's the whole point of protest and getting, trying to strive for change is, sometimes you have to disrupt the norm. And, people, if you don't like it, okay, you don't like it. Other people do. It is what it is. It doesn't bother me.
What do you mean disrupt the norm?
You have to,
stand in traffic?
Like Jackie Robinson.
Break the law and stand in traffic? Like that? Or do you mean...
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you have to disrupt
because
the system to cause change.
That's not, you have to, it has to be legal. It has to be legal assembly. You can't protest beyond legal assembly, of course. So, people that walk in highways, that's not right. People, stand on the side. If people want to listen to you, they'll listen to you. Yeah. If not, they don't. You can't force people to listen to you.
All great change has come through protest and disrupting the system to right wrongs. It is what it is.
I just don't. Again, you're pissing half the people off, and you want these people to oblige and listen to what you're saying. If I'm driving down the highway and there's 30 people, believe me, I'm not in you're not in my favor. I want to have nothing to do with what you're saying. I want you to get the hell out of my way so I can get on with my life. You can't force people to listen to you. Stand on the side of the road, peaceful protest, what is legal in this country, and peaceful protest. If people want to listen, they'll listen. If they don't, they'll drive right by. You can't force people to stop and listen to you. You shouldn't be able to. That's not, Yinzer Joe had a great Father's Day weekend. My daughter finally acknowledged me and just not their mother. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that, man.
It's good.
But let's get into some Steelers talk, guys. And enough of the BS. Because there's many a platform. If you want to get into any of that politic bullshit, go over to the X. You can follow it all you want. Matter of fact, you could follow it to the way it suits you. And nobody will say anything against you. And you can read all the stuff that you want and support all the stuff that you want. That's what it's meant for. I don't want to go to I don't want to spend my hard-earned money to go to a game to watch somebody. Again, I don't care. And that's not what it is. It's a sporting event where two teams get together and play competition, have competition, try to win a game. Phyllis still says peaceful protest. Peaceful protest bullshit. I agree. But let's get into the Steelers, guys. Black and gold football. Ben suggests that Aaron Rodgers' final year with the Steelers, his first year with the Steelers, might be his last go, Mike, which is interesting because I don't think many people expected him to be here beyond this year. A lot of people were expecting this to be a one and done, him to come here. And let me just say this as well. It doesn't matter what the politics is to me. Even if it's something I agree with, I don't want to see it at sports. Even if it's something I agree with strongly, I'm going to a sporting event. That's where I'm at as a person. But Mike, Aaron Rodgers. So this, Mike, this gives the Steelers another. This means next year, for the 6th straight year in a row, the Pittsburgh Steelers will have a different starting quarterback on day one. Not this coming season, of course. I'm talking about next year.
Yeah,
Mike, this will be the 6th year in a row the Steelers come into the regular season with a different quarterback. Should we continue to talk trash on Cleveland?
Yes. Yeah, we're at 6 in 6 years. They're at like what, 50 in 4 years. It felt like at one point. So no,
but they've won a playoff game, closer to now than we have, and their quarterback, who they got rid of stupidly.
Their list should have stopped right there. Easily should have been right there. The Steelers planned it was, go from Big Ben, have Mitch Trubisky start, and then the following year, Kenny Pickett would be the guy. And we would be on year 3, year 4, or maybe year 5 of Kenny Pickett being our quarterback. So the plan failed, and now they're trying to rectify it by using a bunch of bridge quarterbacks. Hopefully, the trend ends next year when we get our guy, or Will Howard turns out to be our guy, and we stop this nonsense of cycling through quarterbacks. So it was a bit of bad luck on our part. Not, you can maybe say piss poor planning, but really piss poor planning on the Browns' part, piss poor drafting and team building up in Cleveland. Whereas Pittsburgh, I just want to say it was a little bad luck.
Again, yeah, I mean, 2021. We're in 2025. In 2021, Ben was the starter on opening day. Yeah. Mitch in 2022. Kenny, 2023. Fields, 2024. Aaron Rodgers, 2025. And next year it will, more than likely, be a whole new quarterback. It's not going to be any of these guys, I can tell you that. It's not going to be anybody that was in the last 5. No. Which leaves the door open for somebody like Mason because, again, people, believe me, people don't want to hear about Mason Rudolph starting game 1 of the season next year. We have a lot of things going on. We have Aaron Rodgers here in the meantime. We have a draft coming up, and we also have a young kid that we did just draft. But, Mike, any way you slice it, it isn't going to be any of these 5 guys. No, it's more than likely going to be 6 quarterbacks in 6 years. So we got to figure something out. We have to figure something out, Mike. But I do have a list here. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I really don't count that Ben because that was his last year. Of course,
well, you got to count.
It's going to be different with the next year. I go from Ben's retirement on. That's where I'm counting from. I'm changing. That's how I'm going to look at it. From when Ben retired. We're still a quarterback, a different quarterback every year, which isn't as good. But 5 sounds better than 6.
Well, that's the thing. You're changing the whole dynamic.
The
last 5 years, we had 5 different quarterback starts. I mean, whether you include the guy or not, it's still going to be the case.
Yeah, but I'm not going to include it because it's like he retired. Of course, we're going to have a different one the following year. It may, So for me, that one doesn't make sense to include Ben into.
Well, if a guy leaves, then you're obviously going to have somebody different the following year. So maybe some of these other guys don't count either.
Oh no, they count because that was like the plan. Was for
that was the plan. Well, that's not good. If what just happened over the past 5 years with our quarterback,
the plan the next year was to have
maybe it should be 5 coaches over the next 5 years.
You're gonna have you're gonna have Trubisky and then Kenny and then ride Kenny there for another 4 or 5 years.
So anyway, I mean, so no matter which way you twist it and turn it, you're going to come up with the same results. We've had 5 starting quarterbacks to start the last 5 seasons, and it's going to change because next year we'll have somebody new. Again, whether it be the rookie, whether it be, this guy from LSU, I'm hearing a lot about him. And even Mike Arch Manning, he's still sitting at the top of the prospect chart for next season. And the guy hasn't played a down in Texas. Is that?
He's played a handful of games, but he was sitting behind Quinn Ewers.
Right.
Yeah. So now we seem to be the guy. Can he do it for how many, like 12, 13 games or 12 games that they play? So we'll see if he can get it done. And then will he go to come out? Will he stay in because he still has more years of eligibility in college?
And how do we? And I almost think that this Aaron Rodgers situation screws things up because with the quarterback situation, because now we're gonna have to make a decision about next year. I'm like, what do you do? What do you do? Obviously the pick early on was try to get your quarterback in the draft next year, but the fact that they go out and get, the national champion winning quarterback this offseason and in the draft, and he's going to be sitting back this season. How do you handle this?
Luckily, he was a 6th-round pick, so it's not like you took him in the 1st round. Get Aaron Rodgers, and you have the quarterback class next year. If they all come out like looking deep, it's not like that precludes you from taking one. He was a 6th-round pick.
Let's say he looks good. Let's say he looks real good.
I'm still taking a guy in the 1st round.
He looks great in preseason. Let's say Aaron Rodgers goes down and he gets a handful of snaps during the season, and he looks real good. Do you still going after a 1st-round quarterback?
I'm still going after a 1st-round quarterback. Yeah, I'm still going after one of those the top end guys, or maybe even look for, if they're not there, we're kind of comfortable with Howard. Grab one in the 3rd round, and just have someone there that could compete against him. But even if he comes out and looks like, oh my God, we got a guy, I'm still taking someone else. I want to be 100% sure we got a guy. Unless, he comes in and has like a Tom Brady run, then I'll listen.
Phyllis Steele says Rodgers is in a real and competitive division. Big retirement. Absolutely. This division is tougher than any division. Don't get me wrong. The NFC North is tough, but they were so off and on. And until just last year, Detroit was never good. Minnesota was never good. And the Bears were never good.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a big test for Aaron Rodgers in the AFC North again, Mike. Baltimore is always going to be tough no matter who you are. Yeah. And the other two, defense for the Cleveland Browns and the offense of Cincinnati is going to give people the fits. So, this is going to be a good test for Aaron Rodgers and for the Steelers moving forward.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this before too. We discussed this might be his last hurrah, and he probably wants to go out on a high note. Those last 2 years in New York just left a bad taste in his mouth.
I mean, everybody wants to go out on a high note. It's just a matter if you can.
Can he do it?
The guy hasn't had a good season in quite some time, even all the way back to his last seasons in Green Bay. Things weren't good.
Yeah.
Maybe he just, I don't know. We will see, guys. We will see. Yinzers Joe says Big Ben weighing in on options on his injury compared to Rodgers is totally out of retrospect. Ben's arm was done after surgery. Rodgers putting up Josh Allen numbers while healing his ACL. We'll learn. We'll learn this year what he's capable of and what he's not.
Yeah. He looks what he looked like mobility wise in minicamp. He looked a whole hell of a lot more mobile than he did in that last game of the year.
Dummies. And that's what you have to look like in camp. Yeah. You're not going to be playing in the league.
But that's a good sign that he's looking more fluid than he did any point last year.
Again, he's still got 23-year-old guys chasing him around. It's going to be interesting. I don't know quite what to expect yet from this. We're putting him in a good situation because, again, Mike, we felt that we were a quarterback away from having a pretty good team, right? I mean, if you have a quarterback that could come in and play the game and change plays at the line and just control the game the way that somebody like him can, we possibly can have a good season. I mean, we have a good defense. We have the highest paid defense in the league.
Yeah.
Say what you want, but it is what it is. And again, on the offense, Mike, we've been building this offensive line. So for somebody like Rodgers to come along, he could be successful because he's put in the right position. But again, I'm not a gambling man for these kind of reasons. And last 4 or 5 years have all looked the same to me, Mike. This one has to look different in order for it to be different. Otherwise, and one thing I do like about this as well, a lot of talk about Aaron Rodgers, the bumping of the heads possibly down the road between him and Arthur Smith. And I think that you have to have Aaron Rodgers just involved in game planning as the offensive coordinator this year anyway. The guy has been there, done that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one guy's an average offensive coordinator in the league. The other guy's a 3-time MVP. You have to have that guy involved in making the plays and making strategy and putting game plans together.
Oh, yeah. And the way they were talking about how, Arthur was already designing plays that he noticed, like the concept on films that Aaron Rodgers likes to run, using it in his scheme. And then Aaron even said, hey, I've been reaching out to him, talking to him, and now that I'm signed, we've been working close on hey, these are the plays I like. This is stuff I'm good at. Let's incorporate it. And Smith's working on that and putting it in there. So I like that back and forth between the two. It seems like they have a mutual respect for one another. And even when he came in on the visit, when he's talking on the Pat McAfee show, he's interacted with Arthur Smith before. He's interacted with Tom Arth before. They've crossed paths all in, I think in Green Bay. So they have a little bit of history between all of them. So it seems like, okay, they're comfortable, and that's what I like to see. It's encouraging that they're all willing to set aside their ego to work together.
You know what? And that has to continue. It has to continue. Again, you can't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he's not the most. There's probably about 10 quarterbacks in this league I would take ahead of him, but what he knows and where he's been, if you were able to build on that and get success out of that at this point, I think that's what we're trying to milk out of him is, the guy knows what he's looking at. And that it's something that we haven't seen here in quite a few years. It's been totally different. We've had quarterbacks stepping up to the line that didn't even look like they belonged in the game. I got to be honest with you.
Right.
So, these are some things you have to take advantage when you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers. And again, those are some of the things that I do like about it. I don't hate this thing entirely. And again, I said it from the beginning. If we bring Aaron in, that's my quarterback. I'm going to root for him, and that's going to be what it is. But and they will. They're not. Believe me, they're not going to leave Aaron Rodgers out of the offensive game planning. No.
It needs to. It literally needs to run through him. What do you want to run this week? What are you seeing?
Right.
Just sit there right next to Smith and break down film together. Come up with the game plan side by side.
Absolutely.
And also what I like about him too is how he's working with Will Howard. It's just that's going to be a tremendous plus to Will Howard. Now, can Will Howard take the information he's gleaning from the film room, from studying with Aaron Rodgers, and can he physically do it out on the field?
Mike, we talk about our defense all the time. Defense is the highest paid. A lot of people would say it was a pretty damn good defense. I don't know if it's better than the Philadelphia Eagles or some of these other squads that I see, but it's still a pretty good defense. Mike, let me I got some charts and numbers here today. Mike, this is a chart for the last time each NFL team had posted a shutout. Mike, the two most recent would be Denver and Green Bay. They both did it in 2024. They both posted shutouts. The year before that, Mike, Cleveland, Miami, Tampa Bay, Dallas, Jacksonville, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Saints, and the Vikings in 2023, they all posted shutouts, their defense. 22, the 49ers and the Patriots. In 2021, the last time these teams posted a shutout was the Buffalo Bills, the Tennessee Titans, and the Colts. 2020, even the lowly Carolina Panthers had a shutout in 2020. In 2019, nobody. 2018, the Rams, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Ravens. Couple good defenses in there. Mike, 2017, the Cardinals. 2015, the Seahawks. 2014, the Bengals. 2012, the Falcons and the Raiders both posted shutouts. Mike, all the way back in 2011, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. 2010, the Bears and the Houston Texans. 2009, Mike, both New York teams, the Giants and the Jets, posted shutouts. And the longest one out, Mike, if you're a Washington Commander or Redskin fan for that matter, because it goes back that far, 1991 was the last time the Raiders shut somebody out in the NFL. Guys, 34 years ago, which might have been when they were 91. That sounds like the year they lost to Buffalo in the Super Bowl. So, they beat Buffalo. I'm sorry.
Wow, man, you just made everyone in Buffalo perk up there.
I know. You're like, this happened? When did that happen?
What? We've been living.
But I think that was 91 because, I just
that sounds about right.
Giants, Redskins.
So you said 2011 for the Steelers.
Yeah,
this was that defense. Ziggy Hood, Casey Hampton, Kiesel, Woodley, Ferrier, Timmons, Harrison, Gay, Taylor, Polamalu, and Clark.
Well, not a bad defense. They just got out of a Super Bowl the year before. So I mean, this was a good team.
That was but my God.
Yeah. So
you would
14 years ago, since the last time the Steelers had shut anybody out. That's not an easy thing to do in the NFL anymore.
No,
I mean,
even that, I'm looking at defenses going forward from there. The 2012 wasn't a bad defense either. Holy shit.
1991.
God
I think
damn.
Buffalo played the Giants, the Redskins, and then Dallas twice. So that could have very well fell right into that time. On the board, Yinzer Joe says Rogers' accolades are better than Bengier's. He also threw 85 more touchdowns and 95 less interceptions. I think and that's the thing. If he stays healthy and if he can keep up with the league and the 25-year-olds that are out there making plays every down, you know what, we might have a shot. But again, how realistic, I mean, how far do you realistically see the Steelers going, guys? I mean, is this a championship team in your opinion? Do you see this team making a run for it? This season's going to be interesting in a lot of ways, guys, a lot of ways. No two ways about that. Mike, three Steelers in danger of getting cut since mandatory minicamp is over now. Before camp, these three players, Mike, not my opinions. This is off of an article that I read.
Mm-hmm.
Three Steelers in danger of getting cut this offseason before the season starts. Cordell Patterson, Dean Lowry, and DeMarvin Leal.
Yeah.
Mike,
yeah,
would it surprise you if any one of these three guys are not on the Steelers come opening kickoff?
No, it would not. Not at all. Because you got Calvin Austin returns punt. Scotty Miller did some last year. The Gainwell, I think, done kickoff returns. So there's guys on the team who can do kick returns. Dean Lowry, yeah, it's going to be, you drafted Derek Harmon, you bring in Ukale. He's going to be fighting for a spot. And DeMarvin Leal, God, he needs to be one of the first people cut. He just never panned out. Never panned out. He was a tweener, could play, not big enough for DN, too big or too slow to play outside linebacker. He needs to go.
Yeah, he's been one that disappointed me. And there was things early on that I did see that I liked about him, because what'd you say, Mike? He was a third-round pick? Was he? Did he come after Muth and Harris, if I'm remembering right?
Yeah, he was a third-round pick. Yeah.
So, and from things I seen from him early on, I thought, you know what, he's got a shot. This DeMarvin Leal, but he just dropped the ball ever since, Mike. He can't put together a consistently good season. No. I think DeMarvin Leal, if he's gone before the season, I would not be surprised. Cordell Patterson and also Dean Lowry. He was a guy that was brought in for depth.
Yeah.
But you see, Mike, just over in this last offseason, they've brought a lot of people in for depth on the defensive line. You mentioned a couple of them earlier on. I think these three guys, if they are not on the team come September, I won't be surprised at all.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, you're not going to lose a whole lot of production out of any three of those guys. Yeah, let's make it 4, and let's get rid of Isaiah Loudermilk.
Yeah.
He's another one who did nothing.
Yes, he is. Loudermilk's another one. And just a depth guy, So, I mean, what do we expect? I mean, out of these depth guys, they are what they are, Mike. But also, the big story coming up, we're talking about who might be getting cut, who might not be making his team. The big one is, Mike, of course, will TJ Watt be getting his contract, Mike, is the big conversation that's left between now and the regular season. Mike, this is most sacks in the last 5 seasons in the NFL. So if you think that TJ might not deserve it, listen to this. So number five in the last 5 seasons, Micah Parsons, 52.5 sacks. That's number 5, 52.5. Number 4, Nick Bosa with 53.5. Number 3, Trey Hendrickson, last year's sack leader. Trey Hendrickson had 70.5 in the last 5 seasons. Myles Garrett, 72. And, of course, TJ Watt, 73.5. Mike, he played 6 less games than Myles Garrett, still managed to get 73.5. He has a sack and a half more than Myles Garrett. If anything, he deserves this money. I don't think it's not going to happen. I just think that, he's a Pittsburgh cornerstone, and he's going to get his money. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of when and for how long and the way they're going to move the cap space around for next year, because they still have like $18 million in cap space this year. So yeah, there's enough to get him signed to go out and maybe grab another receiver as well. So there's room to fit him and 1 or 2 other players in the mix as well.
Well, that was kind of where I was going to go next, Mike. These other players that we may or may not bring in the meantime. I know that a lot of people would be interested in bringing in another wide receiver or another cornerback. Mike, is it possible? I mean, you're seeing a lot of these names pop up now, and these veteran wide receivers, or even Jair Alexander from Green Bay. Uh, is it realistic to believe that we're going to fill one of those two positions because we have mad money. We got some money left over. Even after we pay TJ Watt, it still feels that we're missing something. Do you think they're going to realistically go after a wide receiver 2 or another cornerback before the season starts?
I do. I do. The way you read the same reports I do, and everyone does too. Like, they're out there, they're actively trying to add another offensive weapon. Now, whether it's going to be the 101st tight end, or
I just seen there was a tight end out of Chicago that we were.
I saw that too, and like that's got to. I don't think there's any smoke there at all. I think that's just some filler, but I can see they definitely want to get another wide receiver, and if they can land another corner, if they can, Jalen Ramsey, he's getting up there, but I think he'd be an upgrade.
Mike, how realistic is it that we land Jalen Ramsey on the Steelers?
I think that's going to be hard. I think Miami's going to want to keep him. He's one of their best players on the team.
Maybe that could get them back to that 5 wins that they.
I know, right? Yeah, that soft ass team. But if they can do it to get Jalen Ramsey, but I know he wants a new contract, and how much longer can he still play? Now, for 1 year, we're going to try and make a run what we can with the team that we have. I'm all for it, but I don't know. He's 30 years old. That's old for football. That's old for starting corner right there. So I don't know, but I can see them making the move.
The greats go past 30. All the rest of the corners, they just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the great corners over the years, like Champ Bailey and who else? I mean, Rod Woodson. These guys, they don't age. It doesn't seem like if you're a great corner. So you might be able to get away with a guy like Jalen Ramsey because he's considered one of the better corners in the league. But for the average corner, it's tough. It's tough to get past the age of 30.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh shit, he's signed through 2028. So my fault right there. My bad. I thought he was wanting a new contract. If he's signed for that long, I don't know. It's gonna be what kind of compensation they want. We already traded 1/3 round pick, I think, out of next year's crop. So I don't know. I don't know.
Interesting.
I'd like to have him. I think you have him, Slay, Porter, Brandon Eccles, Beanie Bishop, Corey Trice. That's a nice little cornerback room with the safeties that we have.
It's certainly improving every
year. And then you go out and get a receiver. Okay, now you can now you're feeling okay. This isn't just a rebuild. This is a we're trying to make a run to have the team set up next year with another rookie quarterback or Will Howard coming in.
Yinzer Joe says the offense has to put up points and the defense has to do something other than zone. Teams like the Ravens figured out how to beat it, so pressure up front is key. How weird it's going to be, Mike, watching this football team score points and stop the other team and just play a normal football game the way that we're used to seeing, being played by good football squads here in Pittsburgh. If in fact that happens, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun watching this team this year and going from week to week, thinking, what, we have a chance. We have a chance. When last year we hit that skid, Mike. In the year before, I think there was a skid point as well. You really felt depleted when it was over because we stood no chance in that run, Mike, against Philadelphia and the second time against Baltimore and Kansas City on Christmas. So it's gonna be nice to feel. It's gonna be nice to feel like a good team again. Sitting down watching a team that's in games and providing that's what happens.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice and fun to watch that. I just want to see us score more than 14 points a game.
Yes. we got to be able to score points. I mean, the Giants game was so fun last year because we scored 36 points or something like that. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then you say it's the Giants,
Yeah, there were a couple games where the offense put up points, but even those games were close games. I'm pulling up the schedule right now because I just the one that was off the top of my head too was the Commanders game. We scored 28 points, but they also scored 27. That was a nail biter.
And we didn't score our last one till the very end. And
that was a rough one. Even that Cincinnati game, we scored 44. They gave up 38. It was back and forth.
I do want to say welcome. Good afternoon to Donald on the board. Donald Lurie. He says, remember when Rod Woodson moved to safety?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in Carnell Lake. And Carnell Lake moved to corner. You remember when Rod Woodson went out with the knee back in the '95 season, the first game against Detroit. Carnell Lake made the move from safety to corner, and he ended up having an All-Pro season.
Yeah,
at cornerback. But yeah, I do recall, and you know what? Rod Woodson was so many people's favorite here in Pittsburgh, and then when he went on to play for Baltimore. That was a bummer. That was a bummer, man.
It was a bummer, but I was still happy to see him go win.
I wasn't happy to see him go anywhere.
I was, because it wasn't like, any animosity between him and the organization when he left. It was like, it's time
it's
to
the
move
Ravens,
on,
though. If
I
you know
know
what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, he played for a few other teams also, but it was the Ravens. If he would have won a Super Bowl with anybody else,
Right?
it would have been okay with me. But yeah, of course, Donald. And great to see you on the board, my man. Thank you. Let's see what we got next here, Mike. Let's see what we got next here. Do you want to hear this list? It's a lot of lists today. Not a lot of live scoop going on. So I dug it. I found some lists. This list here, Mike, do you want to hear the list of the top 5 quarterback, running back, receiver trios in history, according to this list?
Okay.
I don't agree, but on this list is what it is. This is the top 5 quarterback, running back, wide receiver trios in history. They have number 5. Number 5 is the Colts, the team that had Peyton Manning, Edgerrin James, and Marvin Harrison. Number 5.
Ooh, that was a filthy trio.
Nice trio, no two ways about it. Number 4. And just want to mention number 5, Super Bowl winner. Number 4, the 49ers, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, and Jerry Rice. Number 4, also winning multiple Super Bowls.
I don't know. I thought Roger Craig was a bit overrated, but
No.
the other two.
Roger Craig might be as good as all these running backs I see on this list, but he's forgotten because it was an older team.
Yeah, that's true.
He was.
I just wasn't a big fan of Roger Craig. I like all the other guys on that.
I think if you watched him live, real time, like you would love him. He runs like Pacheco. He's kind of a beastie runner, real strong.
Like fights his legs in the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chops. You know what I mean? He chopped. He didn't run. So number 4, Montana, Rice, Craig. This team did win multiple Super Bowls. Number 3, Mike, on our top 5 wide receiver, running back, quarterback list, 1999, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce.
Yeah, greatest show on turf.
Again, another Super Bowl winner. They win 1. Number 2 on the list, Mike, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. They win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Not a bad group. Aikman was the weak link of that group, but still not a bad player.
So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8, 7 Super Bowls between those teams, Mike. This is the number 1, according to this list.
Okay.
Top quarterback, running back, receiver trios in NFL history.
Okay.
Ben, Brown, and Bell. This is not even a Pittsburgh person's list. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't even tell who this is, actually.
Oh, my God.
ML Football. Mike, they have Roethlisberger, Brown, and Bell, which potentially could have been the best ever. But of this group of 5, Mike,
you're in the convo, yeah.
They won no Super Bowls.
I'm thinking, okay, the last one, because you added up the Super Bowls and had 8. I'm like, okay, this has got to be Bradshaw, Franco, Swan, or Stallworth. Probably Swan. I'm like, okay, you got 4 right there. They're it takes all those guys to get, double what we had. You picked the one where the guy won a Super Bowl without either of those 2.
And the other 2 basically got shunned from the league.
Yeah, AB won a participation Super Bowl down in Tampa. Like talent-wise, you can argue they belong in that top 5.
They won nothing, though.
But they didn't win nothing. And that's like the great tiebreaker is always, do you at least have a championship? They don't. So they're automatically out of the top 5.
Yeah.
Because I thought, Bradshaw, Swan, Franco would have been number 1 if we were going that way.
Donald, you're exactly right. Roger Craig, he ran. I watch some video later, Mike. I think you'll like him.
Yeah.
I think you went out. I think you went out falling in love with Roger Craig.
As a kid, I hated that San Francisco team. I hated the Dallas teams. Now you get older and you appreciate them, but no, my hatred for Roger Craig will stay forever.
that if you were going to tackle him, he hit you first.
Yeah.
He was a hard runner.
Mhm.
And-
I guarantee if he was a Steeler, I would love him.
Oh,
But he had to play on those stupid 49er teams, so fuck him.
RB says, I don't care about scoring big points as long as we sustain drives.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Kenneth, my man, Kenneth says 21-24 every game would be good enough. Especially if our defense is able to hold up there. And again, Mike, as we always say, with the offense on the field more, with the team not going out putting 3 and outs, like RB is saying, as long as we can sustain drives on offense, that goes so far in the way of the defense. These guys get to take it easy, take a break, stay on the sidelines, rest up, get some fluid in their body, and get back out there. Opposed to being pressed every game to try to win, and that's tough for a defense to do.
Yeah,
even the best of them. You look back at Chicago in '85. The Ravens in 2000, even the Tampa Bay team in 2003, these teams that actually had the defense won it. It's a very difficult thing to do. That's why there's only a few that's ever got it done. Again, our defense is good. We pay a lot of money out, but I don't want to do that to these guys as they're starting to age. Like, again, Cam, TJ, for that matter, Minka, not exactly the young pups that they once were.
No,
So,
like in our offense last year was 20th in for points per game at 21.9. Now, if you get around to like that 24 range, that immediately puts you in the top 10 scoring average from last year. And then our defense, I think, was like 8th in scoring defense. It was a really good scoring defense. It was 7th, at 20.8. So, we're scoring 20, giving up 20.8 a game, scoring 21.9. These are some close games. If that offense is out on the field more, I guarantee you that 20 points per game average is going to drop because that defense is going to be well rested.
And we had some nice key additions in the defensive backfield. I think that's going to go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
And Harmon on the defensive line, I think he should eventually. I don't think it's going to be long. I think he's going to be an upgrade over Ogunjobi.
Yeah,
sooner than later. So again, just that, and also guys like Peyton Wilson, Mike. I think that a guy like him,
step.
He's going to take that step in his sophomore season, and I think that he could be pretty beastie, if you ask me. RB says no Kelly Reed. You know what? I think if the list would have continued, RB, I think that those 3 would have been on it. The fact that they went to 4 and lost 4 in a row, but the fact that you made it to 4 straight Super Bowls is something that nobody's ever done. So that has to stand for something as well. I do think if the list continues, though, you would have sold those 3 gentlemen in the top 10. Come on, that Buffalo team was one of the better teams of all time. They just could not win it all. They just couldn't win it. I couldn't believe it. And if you've seen that team play with the no huddle offense and the hurry up, and the everything that they did, and the guys they had, and the defense, and Bruce Smith and Darryl Talley, the whole way down the list, it was a great team. It truly was a great team. Will never get recognized for just how great they were because they just could not get it done.
And they ran into other great teams in the playoffs.
And
like Dallas twice, the Giants, and the Redskins.
The Giants, they lose 20-19 on a missed field goal. So that's a game they could have won.
Idiot kicker. Why was it wide right? 2 out of the 4 of those Super Bowls.
It was just the one. It was the Giants, 20-19. The other 3 beat them pretty bad. Washington and Dallas were both. Both Dallases were pretty ugly.
Yeah.
They could have won the Giants, but they did not. They lose 4 in a row. Donald says not just sustained drives, but finish with 7, not just 3. That's going to be big as well, and that's going to be something. And Mike, also with just the getting better for Darnell Washington. I like to see them use him in the red zone. I think the red zone is going to, there's a lot of questions. Is this team going to be able to put points up in the red zone? Using a guy like Darnell Washington, Mike, the guy's so big. These guys are always so hard to cover because of their size. Just throw it up there like Tom Brady did to Gronk. And, just because of size alone, he should be able to make something happen.
Get him in some good matchups. Don't be afraid to spread it out down there and let these guys play in space a little bit too. You don't just have to just ram it in there or do little bootlegs and try and hit the fade to the big guy. Mix it up down there, give different looks. You got guys who can make plays down there. DK Metcalf, big bodied receiver. Fryer's a big guy too, and Darnell Washington. Then if you want to, you should be able to power it in with Jalen Warren and Caleb Johnson. It's again, it's going to come back to that O-line too down there. especially in those run plays. Can they beat the guys off the line of scrimmage to give Warren and Johnson a chance?
Kenneth said Buffalo literally ran the kicker out of town for missing that Super Bowl winning kick. Yeah. Yeah, they sure did.
Just imagine what he would be going through now with today's day and age where everyone knows exactly where you live and social media and all that.
Right.
Oh, man. They probably would have thrown his ass into the Niagara off the falls. They would have driven down there and just like, yeet.
Why did people here in Pittsburgh throw garbage in Tommy Maddox's yard? Was it he just didn't have a good season? Or he wasn't playing well.
He lost the game. It wasn't a playoff game or a game that would have got us into a playoffs.
Yeah,
He's had a bad game and they trashed his lawn. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I love my team, but not that much.
Like in the Larry Fitzgerald, scoop Larry Fitzgerald over the weekend. It's reported that he was spotted at Notre Dame with his son, who was on a visit. Yet another great NFL player, Mike.
Going to Notre Dame.
Possibly, maybe going to Notre Dame. Watch out for this Notre Dame team, Mike, especially if you're drafting over these next 10 years or so. You got half the team are former Steelers or at least NFL players.
Yeah, you got Larry Fitz kid might be going there. Bus's kid went there. Ike Taylor's son went there.
Do you ever hear any of their names? I don't watch a lot of Notre Dame. These kids still young. Do you ever hear any of these names when you're watching Notre Dame?
I don't follow along. I just see where they're going. Like, oh, okay. And I hate Notre Dame, so the less I have to know about Notre Dame, the better.
Yeah, I feel the same. Also, Mike, in this year's NCAA recruiting rankings for college football, Penn State lands at number 6 overall, Mike, in college recruiting, and Pitt lands number 25. So both teams do make top 25.
Not bad for Pitt right there. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. So it's good to see these two teams recruiting well, and it seems like the more you recruit from the backyard here in Western Pennsylvania, the more good players you end up getting. So I like to see a lot of these guys.
The proof's in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding.
Just look at the guys that get drafted from this area. Look at the guys that are in the Hall of Fame from this area too. For
sure. Donald said they used Darnell once in the red zone last season. It turned into a touchdown from just you're right. Why you don't some of the head scratching decisions by this team over the past 5 to 10 years.
And the way they were using him last year too to start the games out on those quick little out routes that were gaining chunks of yards, and then all of a sudden they went away from it. Mind-boggling.
RB says no. Maddox was 0-1 with the pick 6 when Ben got hurt.
That's right.
In the fourth, in the game to clinch the playoffs against the Titans.
That's what it was.
Wait, hold on. Let me try to make memory of this. Maddox was 0-1 with the pick 6. 0-1 with the pick 6 when Ben got hurt in the fourth, and a tie game to clinch the playoffs. Because I remember the year they played the Titans. Didn't they play the Browns in the first round that game or that season? I think they won 30. We won 36-33 over the Browns in the first round. And the second round was this Tennessee game, I believe, and we lost that on on Dwayne Washington running into the kicker.
Oh, don't get me started on that one.
The kicker missed the field goal, and Dwayne Washington ran into him. And they got it back, and they kicked it.
They kept doing it over and over and over. It was rigged.
I recall, RB. Donald said Ryan Clark's form. Yes, Ryan Clark's son as well. So, I mean, maybe as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, maybe we should be more Notre Dame fans. I just can't, though. I can't. I hate
Notre Dame.
I'm a Pitt guy.
I despise them and Lou Holtz.
I loathe them. Lou Holtz hasn't been there for a while,
Yeah, but no, I still hate Lou Holtz.
Okay.
He's from my hometown. He's a piece of shit. Fuck
okay. Let's see. Do I have one more? Chart? One more list here, Mike? I think I do. This is interesting to me. This was back when it all started. Aaron Rodgers was back in 2005. Big Ben winning a Super Bowl. But Mike, this is again just something I just pulled from the side. You want to hear the top 10 selling jerseys for the 2005?
Oh yeah, season. Yeah. I saw that one, and that was an interesting list.
It sure was. Mike, I'm going to start from 10 and go backwards. These are in 2005 when the Steelers started it all. When Ben won the Super Bowl, and when Aaron Rodgers, our current quarterback, came into the league, 05, 06, guys, this is the top 10 selling jerseys. If you want to take any guesses, Mike, you want to take any guesses on who may be on this list?
Let's see. 2000. You said what? 2005.
Yeah.
Let's go with Tom Brady.
Okay.
Big Ben.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
2005. That's all that's coming into
All
my
right.
head right now.
You got two of them. Let's start with number 10 and move backwards, Mike. Number 10 in the top selling jerseys in 2005, Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber for the
That's right.
Giants.
That's Tiki Barber Mania at that time.
Number 9, same team, the Giants, Jeremy Shockey. One of my favorite tight ends. Number 8, Mike. Number 8, Carnell Williams in Tampa Bay. Carnell Williams, number 8. Number 7,
Mike, Cadillac Williams. Okay, Cardinal Cadillac
Mike,
Williams.
number
okay.
7, Byron Leftwich for Jacksonville. Number
Lefty
7.
left, baby.
7th highest selling jersey in 05. Number 6, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yep, he was tearing
Number
it up.
5, Big Ben, number 5. Number 4, Donovan McNabb. Number 3, Tom Brady. Number 2, Michael Vick. Number 1 leading selling jersey in 2005. Want to take any stabs, Mike?
No.
Randy Moss. The Randy Moss Raiders.
Wow.
Jersey. Yeah. So there you go. Just again, interesting. Not a whole lot of real scoop going on. So I wanted to grab some of these lists to go over today. Mike, let me catch up on the board. RB says, in fact, in that game, Maddox fumbled the first snap for a loss of 15, then threw a pick 6. We missed the playoffs because of that. After a battle back, it was the Ben crash season. Donald says, have any other quarterback played for a team they beat in the Super Bowl?
I think that's a negative.
Has any other team?
Yeah.
Any other quarterback played for a team they beat in the Super Bowl?
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be Rodgers. There's none coming to mind.
Yeah, there's none coming to mind. That's a good question. I don't recall hearing it. But that's a good question. Dawn killing it with the questions today. I love it, man. Always great to see. Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
The2dumbyinzers.com. Check it out. Especially if you're new here, we got all of our social media links for Ryan and I over on the website. We got the merch store. We got the Dumb Thoughts blog up there. Check it out at the2dumbyinzers.com.
All right, Mike, today's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a quarterback question of the day. Put on your thinking cap. Everybody at home, everybody on the board. Mike, of course, we know that Aaron Rodgers, with about 1,200 yards, is going to pass Big Ben this year to become the 5th all-time leading passer in the league.
Mm-hmm.
In the process, he's going to pass Phillip Rivers as well. Mike, can you name the 4 quarterbacks that are still going to be ahead of Aaron Rodgers when this season is over? Can you name the 4 quarterbacks that are still going to be ahead? 1, 2, 3, 4 all-time passing leaders in the NFL once Aaron becomes number 5. Who are they? Take a minute to think it over. We are live. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. RB got something to say. He wants to write an article. Question of the day, Mike. Of course, if everything goes the way that it's probably going to go, Aaron Rodgers will pass Phillip Rivers and Big Ben Roethlisberger this season. And if he does that and becomes the 5th best passer of all time, Mike, who are going to be the 4 guys that still remain ahead of Aaron Rodgers when that happens? And you look confident.
Yes.
All right.
Tom Brady.
Okay.
Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Drew Brees.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
You got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Who's 4? He's passing Ben. He's passing. Eli's not up there. Marino? No.
RB got Brady, Montana, Brees, and Stafford on the board. Mike, you already got Brady, Manning, and Brees.
Yeah. If Fuck it. Dan Marino. I know he's
Dan
not there,
Marino.
but I'm going Marino.
Is this your final answer?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to lock you in, Mike, on the Dan Marino. And your final answer is Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Dan Marino. On the board, RB got Brady, Montana, Brees, Stafford, which all these guys are in the top 10. Top 10, Mike, number 10, Matthew Stafford. Marino, number 9.
Yeah.
Matty Ice, number 8. Aaron Rodgers, number 7. Drew Brees, number 6. Big Ben, number 5. As you mentioned, 1 is Tom Brady. 2 is Drew Brees. 3 is Peyton Manning. And the one name that nobody has mentioned yet, I'm going to catch Donald real quick. He says Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Joe Montana. Mike, the guy that everybody's missed so far, the forgotten quarterback, the 4th best passer of all time. Not too far behind Peyton Manning, really at all. Like about 100 yards, give or take. Mike, it is Brett Favre.
Wow.
Brett Favre, number 4, just 102 yards behind Peyton Manning all time.
Wow.
And then, of course, Tom Brady, who's about 17,000 yards out ahead.
Right.
Out ahead of these other guys, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah, he's what, 9? Just a hair under 9,000 yards ahead of Drew Brees.
Like, this guy, yeah, 9,000 yards ahead of Drew Brees.
That's, you know, the funny thing is about, because I pulled up the top 10 list just now. Only Marino and Ben did it for their team. Did it for one team. Everyone else had multiple teams.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Phillip Rivers. Oh, well, he got traded on draft day, didn't he?
He got traded. Yeah.
He never played a single down on the team, did he?
No.
But anyway, good point. But yeah, Mike, there you go. Tom Brady,
wild.
Drew Brees, and again, that space between Brady.
Forgot
and Brees,
about Favre, man.
That that distance between Brady and Brees is what blows my mind. Between one and everybody else, just goes to show you why he is the GOAT. Whether you think that he is, or you agree with he is, or you don't. The guy was definitely the GOAT. Tom Brady, everybody. It's going to be a while before we get another one of him. All right, RB says,
I'm sorry, that just made me laugh so hard, RB.
All right, let me read it. He says, RB, I forgot about him with the welfare fraud and showing his hog to reporters. Yeah, everybody forgot about Favre. But there he is, guys. He will be, he'll still be number 4 when it's all said and done at the end of the season. But that's the way it plays out, Mike.
Oh, Brett Favre.
What else? Anything? You got anything before we start getting ready to wrap it up?
I got nothing, man. Oh yeah. God. The U.S. Open at Oakmont. Only one player finished under par.
Really?
It was a guy who won, JJ Spawn, and he had this beautiful putt. I don't know how far out it was, but it was out very far out. Read the line perfectly. It bent around and just right down into the cup. It was a beautiful putt, but my God, only one golfer finished under par the entire tournament. Guys were like destroying parts of the clubhouse because they were so pissed. They were hitting like the microphones that were by the drive box because they were just getting destroyed by this course. It was a thing of beauty.
You know, you're either going to feel really good if you're one of the people that didn't win because everybody did so poorly.
Yeah.
Or you got to feel really bad if you are the winner because everybody did so poorly.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey. You know, he's the one who he didn't let the course get to him, man. He fought through it. And the funny thing is, though, he didn't have to make that long putt. He just had to get close and I think putt out one more stroke, and he still would have won it. He said, "Fuck it, I'm going for glory," and made it. It was awesome.
So there you go. The U.S. Open in Oakmont is done. It's done.
You weren't the only one, RB.
Golf, RB is saying he was. But yeah, it's done, guys. Oakmont is done. That was fun. Man, what do I got, Mike? I talked about Steve-O a little bit at the beginning of the show. Have you ever gone down to Pittsburgh to watch a stand-up comedian?
Not in Pittsburgh, no.
I'd like to get down. I'd like to get down there. There's so many people that come and go there. I like to see.
Oh, yeah, a
but
lot of good acts too.
Then the people that I don't know. There's just I don't like David Putty from Seinfeld, the character. I can't remember what his actor.
Yeah.
He's going around. He's doing stand up. Now I'd like to see him, but he's not coming to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But Steve-O tomorrow and the next day down at Pittsburgh Improv. Go check that out. Mike, tomorrow's Tuesday. What do we got on tap here? Pirates off till tomorrow. They do start that series with the Tigers tomorrow. Game 1 of 3 at 6:40. The NBA Finals. Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder both tied 2 games apiece. Game 5 is tonight at 8:30. The NHL's back at it tomorrow with Florida up in that series. Pittsburgh Passion, like big playoff game coming up in a couple of weeks. I tell you what, it was a lot of fun watching them because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect after they lost that game, but this is what I hoped was going to happen.
Oh, they responded big time.
They really did. And again, this Cincinnati team was not a team to be. They were undefeated. The most points they let up in a season was 18, and they had a running back who averages 11 yards per game or per carry. I'm sorry. So it was kind of at first I thought I hope they could do it, and they ended up going out and scoring 59 points, winning 59-26. On the board, let's see what do we got going on. RB says I see Aisha Tyler there 21 years ago. And also last comedy I went to was I seen Steven Crowder in Baltimore. I went out to Akron one time to see Seinfeld. It was amazing. The amount of people, it was like one of those ones where they tape it for like the DVD special or something. Like it was just so loud and so it was a lot of fun. But I like getting down to Pittsburgh as well. Seeing a lot of no-name comedians, people you didn't know. But as far as the big ones, Jerry Seinfeld was definitely the biggest one I've ever been to. I don't know, Mike. What do you got, man? Getting ready to
I
wrap
literally
things
got
up.
nothing, man. I was just checking Twitter. There's no late breaking news, no nothing.
Yeah, this week's gonna be kind of slow, I think, as far as the Steelers for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to say thank you, everybody, for coming and hanging out and checking us out today. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly, honestly do. We wouldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to everybody on the board. You guys always keep things interesting here on the show. And everybody at home, whether you be in the car, whether you be at the gym, whether you be at work, maybe you're just watching it on your big screen TV. Any way you slice, we thank you so much as well. Greatly appreciated. RB says he's seen Bob Saget at the Poconos. He said everyone left. What's wild about him is he was actually kind of funny. He was a dirty comic, and that's the last thing that most people expected when seeing Danny Tanner walk out on stage.
Just come out of him and be, oh, god damn, the shit that you're saying.
Yeah, for sure. Mike, so besides for that, ain't much going on. I do want to say thank you to everybody. Not much going on today either. This is going to be a slow week in sports, Mike, but we will continue to dig and find stories and things heading forward to have ready for you tomorrow. We'll be back at our regular time to do it all over again. Mike, I think that's it, man. I truly, honestly have nothing else here in front of me.
Me either, man. It was a fun one today.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I got nothing. Have a good day, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow. Again, for Mike in the Skiller Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, everybody have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.